It's no secret that Oblivion contains a lot of cut content, but one thing I've yet to cover in any detail is the original dialogue system. Now, don't get me wrong, dialogue is one of Oblivion's strongest features.
Me children will thank you for your help.
The Lonely Suitor is a fine place.
Well, most interesting features, I guess. But unsurprisingly, it was also meant to be way more sophisticated. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, because what we're actually talking about is just this right here. The unique topic that almost every single NPC has. Initially, these were meant to feature branching dialogues and multiple player responses, taking the conversation into wildly different directions, depending on what you say. As well as even asking innkeepers about the local leadership, or who the trainers in town are, which would have been incredibly useful information. It's literally the same as when you ask directions from the town guards, but more useful.
Starting in the northeast, moving clockwise, you have the market, arena, arboretum.
And interesting. We're not really sure how extensive this would have been though, and I highly doubt it was actually intended for every single NPC. After all, some of them don't even have unique dialogue at all. Like these guys in Black and March. What the hell's their deal? Actually, I know what their deal is. They were meant to be connected to a quest in the Fighters Guild that would have taken us to Beyond, where we found the Ash Clan trolls. And yes, I do feel a bit annoyed that I somehow missed this when doing my Secret Dungeons video. Now, not all of the system was actually fully gutted, as we can still see the bones of it in a couple NPCs, like Elsa Godhater.
Ask me what I think about chapels, praying, the Nine Divines. Go ahead, ask me.
I really don't care.
Well, good. I really don't care either.
And the infamous Skingrad alchemist, Flanu Hlalu.
By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was just wondering.
Now, as to why it was cut down, the answer does seem a bit obvious. After all, voice work is incredibly expensive. And even though Bethesda's fork of Gamebryo does make implementing voice lines much easier, it's still very tedious and time-consuming. All for something that ultimately doesn't really add that much to the gameplay experience. After all, the sentence or two is plenty for most characters to convey their personality.
It's easy to have faith when everything's fine.
And that's not even considering their unique greetings either, which, as far as we know, could have been taken from these topics in the first place. So personally, I don't really mourn the loss of this system. If the choices had some effect on our playthrough of the game, like it does in the Pathfinder games or Dragon Age, I might be more disappointed. But that wasn't the case. It was just a fun little addition that had no real purpose outside of itself. If you're interested in more cut content, however, I did one on Fort Such, which made an appearance at the very beginning of the video. And I also did a whole deep dive into Oblivion's Radiant AI quite a few years ago. I'll see you there. Goodbye.